What's up, big baller, shot caller? It's Big Ken here. Welcome from the Grid to Rim Sports Talk Show, joined by my co-hosts Monty and Brandon. What's up, fellas? How you guys doing, man?
All
What's
right.
up? What's up,
What's up, man? Good, good. Thanks for having me.
man?
Yeah, always good to have you, Brandon and Monty, man. Always good to have you guys.
Right.
We're all rocking our gear, Jets and Cowboys, so we're representing our teams. I like it.
I love
So,
your Cowboys throwbacks. I love those, both of
yeah,
y'all.
man. I'm
Yeah.
old
Yeah, I
school,
got
man.
to, man.
Old
Got
school.
to. Whew.
Not many people represent Tony Romo, so I got to. So,
I love Tony Romo.
Hey, I like Romo. Romo's all
I
I
right.
liked him as a
liked him, but
Cowboy.
unfortunately, they just can't win many playoff games. Him and Dak. That's all
No.
right. But some subjects for tonight's show. We'll do some recaps of college football. Notre Dame losing, which is very surprising. Michigan getting their butts kicked at home against Texas. Talk about there's only one top 25 matchup this week in MIzzou and Boston College. Not a very sexy matchup, but we can hit that up real quick. Then we'll get into some NFL topics. A lot of interesting NFL things this week. Dak Prescott just signed a huge contract before his week 1 game last week, and Tyreek Hill got detained. We'll mention that, and then Shannon Sharpe and his infamous sex tape, not knowing he was live on Instagram having sex with a young woman. That was pretty funny. So we'll hit that up. Then we'll do our takeaways from week 1 on the NFL. Then go into our picks for tonight's game, the Thursday night game, and go all the way down through Sunday and Monday night. So all right, fellas, let's start this off with Notre Dame.
Right.
I just gave a lot of
Yeah.
praise to Notre Dame because I don't know if you've seen the shows, Brandon, but like 2 weeks ago I said Notre Dame's overrated. Actually, that was a show with you, I think.
Yeah, you did. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I remember.
But then they win. They look good against Texas A&M. I was like, well, maybe they're not overrated. Maybe they're legit. My boys, Michigan, are the ones overrated. But then I should have stuck with my guns because then Notre Dame loses to Northern Illinois, 16-14. Couldn't move the ball offense all game. I mean, like, how do you beat a top 20 team at College Station, which is hard, and then you lose to Northern Illinois? I mean, give all props to Northern Illinois for winning that game. The coach
Yeah.
was really emotional at the game. He was very excited to win his first ever game against a top 10 team.
Yeah.
He was crying and everything, and big win for their program, but
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
but
Mhm.
that kind of put them on the map a little bit, but I just can't believe Notre Dame. So what's your thoughts on this, fellas? I'll start with you, Monty. Like, I can't believe it, man. Notre Dame just always does this
And
stuff to me.
and after we got done singing their praises last week, they did this to us. That's sad.
Yeah.
Wow. I, I don't know. I'm speechless. I have no idea how that happened. And they lost to them at home.
Yes.
They
That's
were at
crazy.
home. I don't get it. I couldn't tell you. I mean, maybe they overlooked them. Maybe they were still on that high from going into College Station, winning that game. Coach didn't have them prepared, obviously. I, I don't know. I don't know what to say, man. Help me out on this one, Brandon.
Yeah, no, I'm a Notre Dame fan. If you remember from that first college week we had. Um,
Yeah,
the issue, from what I saw from that Texas A&M game, is you win in probably the toughest environment to start the season, and
yeah,
against a good defense, but the quarterback play looked really bad against Texas A&M. Now, I didn't get to see the game; I was working, but it just I feel like that quarterback play came into it when you can only score 14 points against a team like Northern Illinois. If you're just going to throw screen passes, I haven't even seen the highlights. I just saw the score. I got off work and I got texted in the morning like, "Hey, they lost." It's like there's no way. And then you see like Notre Dame paid a team 1.4 million to lose.
mhm,
It's just
yeah. Wow.
that's just embarrassment on top of it. They got that money to spend, but that is what it is. It's no, the offense looked bad against Texas A&M, so I can only assume that carried over. The quarterback can't do much. He can find a gap and he can run through it. He just the offense was just lackluster, and it continued to be that way. The defense seemed to hold them to 16 points, which is good for anybody you play, but you'd think that they'd hold to
Yes.
even less with what that defense would have the capability of. So
Yeah.
they really crapped the bed on that one. That's pretty bad. I don't think it gets any worse than that.
No. And it's at home, like Monty said. That's what's even crazier. That's insane, man. Um,
So So, Brandon, what do you think of Notre Dame's playoff chances? It's not like they lost to another top 25 team. Uh, you think this will still keep them in it if they run the table the rest of the way?
No, they don't belong in the playoffs, even if they beat USC. If you look at the rest of their schedule, it's so weak. It was A&M at the beginning, and it's USC at the end. And you lose to a team like this, and you don't play anyone that's even close to playoff eligible, you don't deserve to be in the playoffs. They should be out.
Okay.
I agree with that. And that's the problem with Notre Dame because they're not in a conference.
Yeah.
I don't know why they don't join the ACC. They play against half the ACC teams throughout the year. I still don't know why they don't join that conference. They're in that conference in basketball. I also know why they don't do it in football because then they could redeem themselves because if they win the conference championship, then people might say, well, maybe they deserve it. They won against someone ranked, maybe someone else ranked in their conference like Clemson or somebody,
Right.
and maybe they'll squeak in that way. But I agree, without them being in a conference and them losing to, I don't want to say a nobody to say Northern Illinois is nobody, but they didn't lose to a ranked team. I mean, I don't think Northern Illinois is even in the top 50. I mean, like, yeah. I mean, there's been some guys out in Northern Illinois play in the NFL. I think actually the jersey I'm wearing, Tony Romo played for Northern Illinois, if I remember correctly. So they've had a couple of onesies and twosies make the NFL, but they've never had a team in the top 25 that I can ever remember. They just have a couple of guys go to NFL like every once in a while, So that's
they lost to
insane.
They lost to a team in the MAC. That's the equivalent of losing to a college basketball team losing to a team in Gonzaga's conference. That's not Gonzaga.
That is the West Coast Conference.
Yeah, the West Coast Conference.
That's like losing to San Francisco, man.
Yeah. Open University.
All right, man. Let's talk about my boys now. They are overrated. I'll say this: I'm a Michigan fan, but Michigan was overrated, man. Do I think they're a top 25 team? Yes, but even before they lost to Texas, I had my doubts about them being a legit top 10 team. I was talking with my dad back and forth about this, and because I told my dad and my brother-in-law Chris, who's another Michigan fan, I said, "Man, guys, Michigan did not look good against Fresno State. I know they won 30-10, but that score is very misleading. It was 16-10 going into the fourth quarter, a one-score game. Their offense is just lackluster, like you're saying. Notre Dame's, Michigan's is probably just as bad, if not worse. And they're playing a legit top 5 team in Texas, and Texas showed it. Michigan hung in there in the first quarter. It was 7-3, but then they had a couple turnovers, and it was like 24-3 at halftime, and it got no better in the second half. They lost 31-12, but their offense is a problem. I think their defense is good, but they're not as good as they were last year, maybe the year before. They're still a top 10 defense, but I don't think they're like last year, like a top 5, like top 3 defense at all. But their quarterbacks was killing them because they're trying to play this 2 quarterback system, and neither one of them have much experience, no experience really, and it's showing. And Ewers is a legit NFL prospect at quarterback. Me and Monty talked about it last week, and he carved them up.
Yeah,
I thought he would. And because even on Texas's first drive, Michigan got lucky. They missed a field goal because they went all the way down the field, and a couple penalties backed them up. They kicked the field goal and they missed it. But then Michigan goes 3 and out, and then very next drive, Texas goes all the way down. They score the touchdown this time. So 2 drives in a row. They just could drive the ball all game long, is what I'm saying. Like, Michigan had a hard time getting off the field on third downs. They had multiple third downs where they couldn't stop them, a couple of third and longs even. So I'm not surprised about Michigan losing this game 31-12 at home. So some people might be surprised, but I'm not. What's your guys' takeaway?
Ken, don't be so hard on them. Just like I mentioned last week, remember, Michigan lost an awful lot to the NFL.
Yeah, they did.
10 players, if I'm not mistaken. Michigan is still the defending national champs, and just that alone, people are going to play them their toughest. I mean, so for me, it's a wait and see game. I don't follow Michigan as close as you do, but man, let's look at it 5 or 6 games. Well, I'd say about 5 games down the road. Then I'm not ready to call them overrated yet. I mean, No, they're not as good as they were last year. We all know that they weren't going to be as good as they were last year, but who knows? Let's we saw this coming. We're not surprised. Let's see what happens the rest of the way.
Yeah, I agree. There's still a long ways to go. They only got one loss, and if they could run the table, they can get right back in it. But they have a very hard schedule this year.
Yeah.
They got to play USC, but I think they're playing USC at home, and I think USC is going to be good this year. But right now, the first 2 weeks, USC looks really good. They're lucky they're playing at home, which might help. If they came out to California, I think they would lose.
Yeah.
They're playing UW out here. I don't really know how good UW really is right now. They're 2-0, but they haven't played anyone yet, but I don't know. So UW game could go either way. I don't know what to think about that game. And then after they got to play their biggest rival, Ohio State, they look legit top 5 again this year. And then, like I said last week, Penn State might finally get over the hump against Michigan because their coach, like I said last week, Monty Franklin, can't beat Michigan or Ohio State, but this year he might be able to finally get over the hump against Michigan if they continue to play this way, and that might save his job at Penn State. If he still loses to Michigan this year, I think he's gone. But I don't want to be too hard on because, like I said, it is only a couple weeks, and we'll see how they do the rest of the year. But they got to figure out their offense. I know that if they can't figure out their offense, I can see them losing 3 or 4 games this year. Their defense can only do so much, especially when they're on their field 75% of the game. They got to get some drives together, man. Got to. You got any thoughts on this, Brandon?
I agree with Monty. Like he said, look at all the players that they lost. Didn't they break the NFL record for most players drafted?
They did. I think they got like 13 or 14 players in the draft, which is a record. Yeah.
And I think that preseason ranking just gave them the respect of being the national champs. So, and rankings don't really mean anything until about, like he said, like week 5, then you kind of see how good teams actually are, and they start earning the rankings, whether they were up high, whether they made it up or went down low. So, it's I saw on college, like I don't follow Michigan, but I saw on college game day at the bottom, they were about one of the things they were going to talk about soon was will the Michigan 2-system quarterback work? And that kind of flagged me to something they were going to talk about, because I'm like, the 2 quarterback system never works. I don't care who you are.
No.
So that told
me
work
in the NFL.
It doesn't. No, it will never work. So it tells me that you have a quarterback that's really fast and you have a quarterback that can't be trusted. So they definitely have some issues on offense, but Donovan Edwards is a really good running back, so you can at least rely on that. But you've got to have a passing game to complement him.
You do. Now they're going to be on the run. Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah.
So, but we'll see how they level out. You got some young quarterbacks that need to find their way, and we'll see how they are.
Yep. Well, before we get into the NFL, let's talk about the only top 25 matchup. Well, actually, there's 2. I forgot. There's number 20 Arizona at 14 K-State, so there's 2. I like K-State in this one. K-State always seems to be a feisty team. They always seem to be ranked. They're not very big school, but K-State is always ranked. Arizona's come off a really good season last year. Like they were losing for years and years. I think one year they went like winless, but then last year they were ranked, and they went to a bowl game, and they're kind of carrying it over this year. But I got K-State at home. Who do you guys got? Not sure who's playing for them, but I just like K-State always seems to be good every year, even though they're not a big school.
I'll go with K-State.
Oh, Brandon, go ahead, man.
Yeah, I'll go with K-State just because they're pretty good in college football 25. I don't really know.
Yeah, I kind of surprised in that one. I had that written down my notes. I thought there was only one game, but there's 2. So sorry.
Ugly game. Ugly week for just 2 ranked teams.
Yeah, it's not a good week for college football for top 25 matchup. That's for sure.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, that game's tomorrow at Manhattan, Kansas. How about that? One thing I like about K-State, they have that wide open. Well, historically, they've always had that wide open pro, almost running gun offense from what I remember. I mean, little pass running backs that come out of that college. Deuce Vaughn. I think Deuce Vaughn came out of K-State, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
I might be wrong about that. Yeah. Arizona historically has always had that power offense, but I don't know. I'll just take a shot at this one. I'm gonna go with K-State as well. I agree with both of you.
The next one is Boston College at MIzzou. Boston College got ranked after the upset against Florida State. MIzzou is ranked number 6. They're kind of a sleeper team. They had a really good year last year, beat Ohio State in the bowl game, but a lot of players sat out in that game, so it's kind of hard to rate them. But they were a legit top 10 team last year. They had a really good running back. So Michigan's having back-to-back really good years as well, just kind of like Arizona. They're on the map all of a sudden. I'm gonna go with both home teams. So Boston College does have a really good running back, run the ball, but I see MIzzou stuff in that. They're better than Florida State. Because that killed Florida State. Florida State can't stop the run on defense, but I think MIzzou will stop it. They're a legit SEC defense. I think MIzzou will figure that out. So I got MIzzou in this one all the way. It might be they might blow them out. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Boston College may have been in the top 40, 35. I mean, the bottom of that part, and being Florida State put them in the top 25. But I think Missouri would be too much for them, and might just knock them right back down. So yeah, that's what I'm expecting.
Yeah, Missouri. I'll go with Missouri also. They got a tough defense over there.
They do.
And playing at home is going to be a big advantage for them. I'm going to go with them.
All right. Let's transition over to NFL, fellas. Multiple topics in the NFL. Dak Prescott, Tyreek Hill, Shannon Sharpe. Let's start. I guess we can start with the funny one first. Keep the fans entertained. Let's start with Shannon Sharpe. Monty, I'll let you cover this because you know more than me. But this is pretty dang funny. Him not realizing he's on Instagram in the throne.
Oh man, let me. Oh boy. Let me try to keep a straight face on this one. Well, apparently at his most intimate moment, so to speak, he accidentally left his phone on Instagram Live, and pretty much the whole world heard what was going on. And we know what was going on. I did see the show with him talk with Ocho Cinco last night on Nightcap, talking about it. He was very embarrassed. He did apologize. Wasn't done on purpose or anything like that. He's not very technical savvy. I'm not sure if that's the way to put it. He's not very good with technology. So he didn't realize it. I mean, he may have pressed the wrong button somewhere, and he didn't know until his publicist or agents called him and said, "Hey, man, you're on live." And he's like, "Live what? You're on Instagram." You know, what do you mean I'm on Instagram? Well, did they hear anything? They're like, "Oh yeah, they pretty much heard everything." And there we go. So just a lesson learned, y'all. You just gotta be careful. I mean, public figure like him, I mean, it was an accident. Apparently he has an iPhone, and I have an iPhone. I know how it is. I pocket dialed, butt dialed people many a times.
Yeah,
you just got to make sure.
Yeah,
their iPhones are notorious for that. He does mention that, and yeah, we just got to be careful. But he made light of it. He was sorry, embarrassed, but did make light of it. I mean, it happens.
Yeah.
Chad Johnson gave him a hard time about it, if you guys watched the Nightcap show, but it could have happened to any of us. I mean,
he's embarrassed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not tech savvy. You know, he's like one of us. He's a little bit older than us, so he's probably not very tech savvy. Neither am I. I ask my kids when I need help. So, yeah. But here's the thing. Obviously, he's very embarrassing, and he apologized. So that's good. And I think it's heartfelt. Like he didn't do it on purpose. I believe that 1,000%. And here's the thing. He's not involved in some kind of sexual scandal where like he's being accused of assault or sexual harassment or all those other scandals that we hear about with professional athletes. It kind of puts a black eye on athletes, but he didn't do anything like that. So it's just more embarrassing for him, like you said, Monty. What do you got anything on this, Brandon? I know you didn't know anything about this before the show.
I didn't know till you all told me. I didn't hear about this, but at least it was an accident. It happens. I'm sure he's embarrassed. So yeah, that's all I got to say about it.
Yeah. It's good there was no video, because that'd be worse. It was just audio. So if there's video, that'd be way worse. If they could, that would have been way worse, in my opinion, if there was video on this. There was this audio. So that they heard them talking in their intimate moments, like Monty was saying. So, yeah. All right, man. Let's get to Tyreek Hill. Brandon, I don't know your thoughts on this. Me and Monty talked about this a little bit earlier this week. I think Tyreek Hill and the police officer detained him were both wrong for different reasons. One, I think Tyreek Hill was wrong because his attitude from the very beginning of the cop pulling him over for speeding he was acting like a punk, in my opinion. He didn't want to roll down his window. So the police officer was knocking on his window. It was a motorcycle cop, I believe. So the motorcycle cop is knocking on his window. And he's like, "Hey, why are you knocking on my window like that, man?" And then, of course, the police officer's like, "Well, your window's rolled up, dude." Something like that. Then, so the conversation's just going, and then Tyreek Hill's like, "Just give me my ticket, man. Just give me my ticket." He's not saying, "Hey, officer, what did I do? I know I was speeding." I understand I was speeding. Yes, sorry about that. He didn't do anything like that. He was just being aggressive and just had a bad attitude. Then and then he just wanted to get out of there. He wasn't even acknowledging the police officer. But what made it worse was he rolled up his window again. That pissed the police officer off. When he rolled up his window the second time, that's when it really got escalated. That's where I thought I think the police officer had every right to be upset and to get him out of his car. But where I think the police officer messed up is where he was talking way too much. Paraphrasing here, like, you had your chance, he was just saying things he didn't need to say. He was being unprofessional, he said a couple of things, but like I said, you had your chance. Now, it's too late now. He just needed to get him out of the car, get him on the ground. I don't think he had to handcuff him. He definitely had a right to put him on the ground to make sure he had no weapons on. Because when someone rolls their window up like that, the police officer probably is afraid it's this guy going for a weapon. So he had a right to get him out aggressively. But I think the problem was when he got him on the ground, they were still being really aggressive. And the second police officer came over there, and that's where I think, in my opinion, the police messed up. I support the police, 100%. But, the police officer jobs are one of those jobs where like 99.9 of them could be good. But if you have one couple bad eggs, this makes them all look really, really, really bad. So I don't think this police officer should get fired, but I think he needs to be talked to. Like, dude, you're supposed to de-escalate a situation. Like us, Brandon, being officials on the sideline, we're not supposed to escalate the situation with the coach. We're supposed to de-escalate.
Exactly.
Right. And he did not, the cop was not de-escalating. That's where I think, in my opinion, he messed up. Like, he was escalating further aggressiveness. So that's my take on it. What do you got on this, Monty?
I think that cop's still on desk duty pending further investigation. That's the last thing I heard. But yeah, two things can be right, and I think this is the case. Yeah, Tyreek was way out of line with his attitude. I mean, just roll down the window, take the L, get your ticket, and go play football. That's it. That's it. It shouldn't have came down to that. The handcuffing part, I get it. The cop wants to make sure he's safe. I get it. But after that was a little excessive. I don't think they needed to throw him to the ground. I don't think they needed to force him down like that. I don't believe they needed to handcuff his teammates. They just wanted to see what was going on and back him up. But not sure if you heard, the best thing about that came out of this is I believe might have been today. Tyreek said that he could have handled it different. That he had to do it over again, he would have handled the whole thing a lot different than what he did. So I applaud him for that. Takes a big man to admit to that.
Yeah.
And I didn't expect to hear that from him, and I'm glad. I mean, so it's a lesson learned here for all of us. So if we're pulled over, I mean, I think we've all been pulled over one time or another. Just if you're in the wrong, take the L, get your ticket, let's move on. They want to move on just like we do. So, he could have handled it a lot better. I mean, that sense of entitlement of being a football player, I think, kicked in at the beginning. And I can't stand that. I mean, they're human just like everywhere else. They got to follow the law just like we do. And that's when that sense of entitlement kicked in, and you're not going to win that battle ever. Yeah, just get your ticket. You know you were speeding and go to the game. That's it.
You got anything, Brandon? You know anything about this, Brandon?
Yeah, I saw the video from the cop and some from the fans. So, the cop, like you said, I think that was a perfect analogy. You know, that cop definitely escalated the situation, and Tyreek had an awful attitude. There was I was listening to Rich Eisen talk about this, and he brought a former cop from Detroit in, and that cop had a story that he said where one time they pulled over Dre Bly on the way to a game for speeding. And Dre Bly was like, yeah, I'm sorry, like, he just gave me my ticket. I'm late for the game. The cop's like, oh, like, here, like, we got you. So the cop escorted Dre Bly to the game. And guess who got really close seats to the field at the next home game? That cop.
How about
so
that?
Exactly. Yeah. So, you know, like, and another thing that guy said, I would definitely listen to the Tyreek Hill and Rich Eisen portion of it with, I think it was Jeff, a former Detroit police officer. He's saying, like, cops have to look at these guys as people bringing in revenue into the city. They represent your city. And while Tyreek did not do a good job at cooperating or trying to make this go smoothly, neither did the cop. And I think both of them definitely would be looking back right now and in hindsight saying, oh, I would have definitely handled this differently.
Yeah.
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 And that other player did handle it better. And that's the whole difference was, like, he says, hey, I'm sorry, I'm going to the game, you know, but he said he was sorry, like, totally different than what Tyreek was in the beginning. And then that's why, you know, that other player is giving the cop front row seats, like, hey, man, I appreciate it. You know, like, that was cool. That's the way it should be done. You know, like, hey, you know, so that's good. I didn't watch that, but I'm going to watch that, Brandon. I'm glad you watched that.
So am I.
Yeah, that's a good point. Great point.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, good job. Yes.
Let's talk about Dak Prescott before we get into picks. I support Dak Prescott 100%, but I'm one of his fans, but I don't agree with his contract. I don't think he should be the highest paid quarterback. I don't know what Monty thinks about this, but I'm okay with him still being a Cowboy. I'm okay with the Cowboys paying him some money to give him an extension. I know a lot of Cowboy fans don't like him, and definitely people who are non-Cowboy fans definitely don't like him. But I support him, but I want him to do well. But I don't still, even though I want him to do well, I don't think he deserves that much money. I don't think he should be the highest paid quarterback because he hasn't done anything in the playoffs. You know, I know it's the market and the money's there. I get all that stuff, but you still have to have some kind of playoff wins to get the money he's getting, and to be the highest paid quarterback, saying that he's better than Patrick Mahomes. More than Patrick Mahomes, more than other guys that got rings playing right now. That's just crazy, in my opinion. So I just think it's nuts. He hasn't got out of the divisional round. He's 2-5 in the playoffs. I mean, no quarterback's got out of the division round with the Cowboys since, Troy Hickman. So what's your thoughts on this, Monty? So I think it's crazy.
Well, I think it was the case of, lack of a better term, next man up. The next quarterback up for a contract is going to get $1 million more than what Dak's getting. I believe the highest paid player or quarterback before Dak was, get this, Deshaun Watson for Cleveland.
Oh, that's true.
And Dak's only getting, I believe, $1 million more than him. And it's just that kind of game. I mean, there's plenty of players getting paid that doesn't not named Patrick Mahomes that doesn't have the Super Bowls. I think the guy from Buffalo, Josh Allen. Yeah, he's another one. So identical stats to Dak, pretty much. Playoffs record very close. Does he deserve it that much? I don't know, but I know the next guy's going to get more than he is.
Yeah, they're talking about that, saying it's just the timing of it all. I understand that part, but there's still something that sits with me like, dude, but you gotta win some games, man. You lose so many big games. You know, you're just a good regular season quarterback. You know that he's just like Romo. You win a lot of regular season games to get us to the playoffs, then we get to the playoffs and we just lose right away, or we win the wild card game sometimes. They both have a couple wild card victories, but they don't have a divisional round victory to get us to the NFC Championship game. So I don't know, man.
And I think part of it was just a guarantee that he would stay a Cowboy.
Yeah, definitely.
If he didn't sign this contract, he wouldn't be there next year. I guarantee that. So they had to do something to make him retire as a Cowboy. It's a 4-year contract, I believe. So yeah, they wanted to keep him there, and I'm okay with that. Getting a new quarterback would start the whole team over. It's a new rebuild. So this way they can continue to build around him or to strengthen up around him. I mean, so yeah, I get it.
You got anything, Brandon?
Yeah. This is not a contract that he deserved based off of anything that he's accomplished. However, if he were to leave the Cowboys, he is going to get something similar to this contract from some team anyways. So anyone needing a quarterback this offseason, they're going to throw this kind of money at him. This is the Cowboys just playing it safe to say, hey, you're going to put up some good numbers and play really well for me. So I'm going to give you this money just to play it safe because we're not going to have a draft pick good enough to get one of the top quarterbacks in the draft. But if you look at how it's been going, you don't need an early pick to get the best quarterback in the draft. Sometimes they just fall to the last pick of the draft. Sometimes they fall to the 32nd overall pick. You need to get the Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones I don't know why he wants to go with a guy that has not gotten him past the divisional round, and he throws this kind of money at him to reinsure that the same thing is going to keep happening.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I mean, you guys are still a better run than the Jets. We can get to that later. But but that is just we knew he was going to get this money. I knew that either they're going to go out and draft a guy, they'll sign the next best guy in free agency, but Dak is still going to get signed by somebody like probably the Giants, and they want to keep him from the Giants.
Yeah, definitely.
They are. I think that's what would happen. They do not want him to go to the Giants because the Giants will get rid of Daniel Jones this offseason.
Yep.
Someone's getting rid of somebody, and they're going to have cap space to sign this kind of contract to Dak. And they said the Cowboys just want to go with Dak again. They think that he's going to actually take them to the Super Bowl. So that's what that contract tells me.
I like what you guys both said. You guys both have great points. All right, let's do some takeaways from week one. Monty, what's your takeaways from week one? What did you see that you liked, disliked, whatever the case may be, man?
Well, I'll just touch on this real quick. Obviously, I'm a Cowboy fan. I wasn't expecting that kind of performance. I was surprised how that defense played. Wow. I was impressed by the rookie corner on the other side of Diggs. I like how Overshown played. He was hurt last year as a rookie, and he was about to take Van Der Esch's spot last year until he got hurt. And wow,
he looked good.
So what?
I like him a lot.
He's fast.
He looked really good.
But my biggest takeaway besides the Cowboy game is what in the world happened to the Bengals? What was that? No. How do you lose to maybe the second, third worst team in the NFL? I don't get it.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. I mean, besides my terrible Washington Redskins pick, that was over.
Oh yeah, I got that one. I did pick Tampa Bay. Yeah, but you were going with Jay.
Yeah, he got me on that one.
Something. And a new coach, the old Cowboys defensive coordinator. So
I don't know. I don't know if this contract with Jamar Chase has anything to do with it. That's another thing. They need to sign that man. I mean, top 3, top 4 receiver in the league. Talking about deserving money, he deserves it. I mean,
Oh, absolutely.
I can
he helped get into the Super Bowl. Him and Joe Burrow got the Super Bowl together. Yeah. He deserves it.
So I don't get what's going on with the Bengals. I mean, I think that's one of those organizations that just have that type of bad luck. I mean, I don't know, but I was stumped by that one. I didn't see that coming.
Okay. Well, I'll do something different here because I know Brandon's got the Jets. So I'll take away the Atlanta Falcons. Me and Monty said we can never figure out the Steelers. Steelers win in Atlanta. I really like Kirk Cousins overall, but he did not have a good game. But I expect him to bounce back. I think he'll be fine as the season goes along in Atlanta. But 1 touchdown pass, 2 interceptions. They had a hard time moving the ball the whole entire game. Drake London wasn't involved much in anything. Couple of catches early in the game. I know because on one of my fantasy teams and I was pissed off. Like, he's not getting the ball thrown to him. I know Kirk Cousins is a veteran. I know he'll win some games. He's going to take the responsibility on his shoulders if they lost and didn't play well at home. So I'm sure they'll be fine. But that was one of my takeaways. I thought Atlanta would play better. But then again, it's a dirty bird. So,
yeah.
So, but that was my takeaway. I thought Kirk Cousins would play a little bit better than what he did. And Pittsburgh kind of surprised me. Their kicker kicked, 6 field goals to win the game. So, And
J.J. Watt is so good, though.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
Well, before I give it to you, Brandon, one thing about fantasy is one of my leagues, I had a 20-some point lead, and it was actually my money one where I wanted to win. The other one, I didn't care that I lost. But my money one, I was ahead big, 21 points. I had a 99% chance to win. Who does this guy have left on Monday night? He's got the freaking San Francisco freaking kicker. Wow. I was like, and he beats me by 3 points because he gives them 26 points in field goals. I'm like,
I haven't won my league, Jeff.
I went back to work next day and me and him were talking. I'm like, dude, I don't know how that. I'm like, what? That won't happen again. But man, good on you, man. I was so freaking pissed. So, because we were talking throughout the game, he was like, it's coming, Ken, it's coming. I was like, he can't kick no more field goals. Just score touchdowns. Don't kick field goals, man. Just kick an extra point. But they kept on kicking field goals. So I lost to this guy at the end off of his 6 field goals, and 2 or 3 of them were 50 yards plus. I'm like, so. Yeah. Anyways, that's my bad fantasy moment. But I'll turn it over to you, Brandon, for the Jets. What do you got, brother?
Man, that was pretty hurtful to watch. The only thing you can really say is that Aaron Rodgers looked good. The offensive game plan looked bad. Breece Hall looked pretty bad for his standards. The defense was just the worst part. Joe Douglas needs to be fired. That general manager is just terrible. He needs to go. I think Robert Saleh gets fired this season. He never seems to have the team ready to play, and his only job is just make the defense good, really. Rodgers and really has the offense to himself, you could say, which is sad that the quarterback just has that much power, but it is what it is. He's a 4-time MVP. He's also a 4-time MVP that you only have throw 21 times when you're losing most of the game. Offensive game plan was as stale and predictable as always, with a stretch run to the left, then a stretch run to the right, and then you're in a 3rd and 5 to 2 situation with a pass that Allen Lazard drops or Breece Hall drops right to his hands. And it was just fumbled. Yeah. And he had the fumble on the second drive. It was just so deflating to watch. The worst part is just that defense and how poorly managed that this team was in the offseason. This was not a team put together to win now. These moves were just so questionable. You trade Jonathan Franklin Myers, who often has a roughing the passer penalty out of nowhere, and that'll kill a drive, but he's a good run stopper. So you get rid of the cap space, and what do you do with the cap space? You do nothing. You don't sign the star pass rusher you trade for, who's still sitting out. So you don't even replace the pass rusher you let walk with Bryce Huff, who was a homegrown talent that they never even tried to negotiate with to begin with. You replace Jonathan Franklin Myers in the middle with 2 undrafted free agent rookies. C.J. Mosley is still an absolute liability as in pass coverage. So slow. He can hit the run gaps fine, but he's so slow in pass coverage. And then your safeties are just receivers are wide open all day, completely left open. Safeties are nowhere to be seen. Some guy, Brady McGregor, you watch a play where Brock Purdy does a play action. He's bootlegging out, but he stops because he sees the defensive end. It's Brady McGregor. And he just pump fakes. And then he fakes like he's running. And he just kind of just stands there, jumping up and down, completely lost. This DN has no idea what to do because he got pump faked. And then he just stands there, and Brock Purdy he throws it for a first down on third down again. That's what happened all day. It's this team is just an absolute disaster. The way that they're run, the general manager is awful, and also instead of the needs at safety and linebacker that they have, they draft 2 running backs. They don't play them until the game's over.
Yeah,
Braylon Allen didn't get a touch until they benched Aaron Rodgers. So I don't know what these personnel decisions are even thinking. You don't play anyone in the preseason, which I can even just go into with the week 1. These teams look so rusty not playing these guys in preseason. I would risk injury just to have these guys ready and warmed up.
Yeah.
But that's my Jets rant. They're losing. They're losing to the Titans. They're losing to the Titans this week. And then they're going to lose to the Patriots on the short week on Thursday night.
Oh no. You already got your pick in for that one.
Jets go 0-3.
All right, man. Let's get into some picks. Brandon's already got a couple of hits for the Jets, that's for sure. So this game is on now, Thursday Night Football. Looks like Buffalo's up 7-0. Not sure how they score, but there's like 9:49 to go in this first quarter, so game just came on. Obviously, it's early. I don't have my TV on because I'm not in the living room. You guys are probably watching. Not sure how they scored, but who do you guys, Monty? Who you got in this game, Bills or the Dolphins?
I'll stick with who I was going to pick anyway. I was going to go with Miami at home, just because they're at home. So yeah, just for that reason alone. I mean, this game could be a pick 'em. I don't know what the spread was. I think Buffalo by 2.5, but so yeah, I was going with Miami anyway, and I'm gonna stick with that.
What do you got, Brandon?
I don't know. It's the team I hate the most and the team I hate the third most. I hope the Dolphins win because Tua is my fantasy quarterback this week. So
there you go. That makes a lot of
Dolphins.
sense. I got the Dolphins too. You know they're down 7-0. It's very early. Don't know how they scored. If it was the defensive touchdown or the offensive touchdown, not really sure. But yeah, I'm going with the Dolphins at home. I think they'll win it at home. Next game, 49ers at Vikings. I think the 49ers are too strong. They're the away team. Vikings did look good last week. Sam Darnold looked good because he has playmakers around him. We were wondering if he would have a resurgence, and maybe he will because he's not with the Jets like Brandon is talking about. But I still think the 49ers are too strong. I got the 49ers winning on the road. What do you got, Monty?
Yeah, 49ers played well without Run CMC, man. Without him.
Yeah, that was crazy.
So,
yeah.
I don't know if he'll still be out this week. I don't know, but yeah, they're just loaded right now. I gotta go with San Francisco.
What do you got, Brandon?
Yeah, I'm going San Francisco. I loved how Darnold looked. Happy for him. I don't think he hasn't really played well against good defenses throughout his career, so I'm going to go with the Niners.
Yep. 49ers got a nasty defense.
Yeah.
I remember that backup running back's name for San Francisco, but man, he did a good job running for like 150 yards last week without CMC. Like you said, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Can't think of it. I know his name. His name's on my tongue.
Morris. Roger Morris? Is it Roger?
Something
Morris?
like that. But he had a hell of a game, man.
Like
yeah.
He's a big back, powerful back, number 24. Remember his number, but yeah, he looked good, man. Seahawks at Patriots. I hate the Sea Chickens, but I don't like the Patriots either. I'm going to Sea Chickens. I'm going to Seahawks. They looked really bad in the first half at home against Denver, but they picked it up in the second half. They looked a lot better. They regrouped at halftime. I got Seahawks beating the Patriots, so I got another road team. Winning here. What do you got, Monty?
That's a tough road game to go all the way across the country.
I agree. That's a long ways.
Man, that's a long way. Man.
But the Patriots haven't been good since Tom Brady left, so I'm picking Seahawks because Geno Smith has got experience, man.
Boy, the Patriots have that momentum beating
They do.
Cincinnati, but
They do.
I still think Seattle's better. So I'm gonna pick Seattle.
Yeah. What do you got, Brandon?
I'm gonna go with the Patriots on this one.
Okay.
That defense forces turnovers, and Geno was Seahawks offense just didn't really have it together, but I think the Patriots defense will come out in a close game.
Sure,
yeah.
And New England's defense is still good, so yeah.
Yeah, their defense is their strength, that's for sure. This is a division game, and I don't think either team is really good, but Giants at Commanders. We know Giants have no offense.
Oh, boy.
Commanders, I'm going to pick Jaden Daniels to get his first win because Giants got a really good defense like they always have, but they got no offense. We already talked about Daniel Jones, and I got Commanders. I got our old Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator getting his first win, and Jaden Daniels, getting his first win. What do you got, Monty?
Man, Daniel Jones sucks, man.
That's a true statement. And they signed up to a big deal after one good year in the playoffs, and now look at him, man. So.
Man, Brandon, I think you hit it right on the head about that going there. Yeah, they knew it.
Yeah.
Man, he's terrible. And I have no problem with the Giants. Out of the whole division, that's the team I don't really hate him. But I mean, Giants fans will tell you he's terrible. Yeah, man. Washington.
What do you got, Brandon?
Yeah. Daniel Jones sucks. I'm going with Washington. Can you believe that they paid him before Saquon?
I know.
Yeah.
Him and Saquon are like best friends, or they were, so that's crazy. Yeah, Saquon was really close to him, man. Chargers at Panthers. I feel bad for Bryce Young. They looked horrible last week against whoever they played. Oh, they played against New Orleans, which is a really good defense. So me and Monty predicted a blowout. It was. I think Bryce Young is a really good quarterback, but the problem is they still have nobody around him. I know he's going to take a lot of heat, but they need to build some talent around him. Chargers, what's his old Michigan coach, Harbaugh. Yeah, they got a good quarterback, man. I got Chargers winning this, and they got the Bosa brother on the other side of the defense. They have Chargers got good defense also. I got Chargers all the way. Probably a blowout game again. What do you got, Monty?
Yeah, I don't see this one being close. It's just not enough on that Panthers team yet. Might be the worst team in the NFL still. I don't know, but yeah. I look for the Chargers to win big.
What do you got, Brandon?
Yeah, definitely Chargers. I think all my friends back in North Carolina have publicly abandoned the Panthers for the rest of the season on Facebook already. So that was
wow.
They are bad. I don't think I've ever seen anything that bad before. That was awful.
Yeah, they're pretty bad. Saints at Cowboys. I don't know what Brandon's pick is, but obviously everyone else knows we're going to go for the Cowboys. That's going to be a tough game. That's not going to be easy.
Yeah, very tough.
But we are playing at home. We've got a road win in Cleveland. Like Monty said, I was really impressed with how the Cowboys played. Didn't like how our offense played in the second half, but in the first half, offense and defense both played well together. That's why we got up to a big lead. We did stagnate on offense in the second half last week against Cleveland. Didn't like that part of it, but if the Cowboys can put it together for 4 quarters of football a little bit better on the offensive end, I think the Cowboys will win. But it's gonna be a close one. They're not gonna win big like they did last week. This could come down to like a game-winning field goal by a really good field goal kicker or something like that. So Aubrey, whatever his name is, I think it's Aubrey. So I got Cowboys winning, but it's gonna be a nail biter. It's gonna have me on the edge of my seat. What do you got, Monty?
Yeah. Dallas still needs to establish that running game a little bit better. Saints has one of the best defenses in the league. Well, it's gonna be tough, but I think Dallas will pull it out. They still have that home winning streak, if I'm not mistaken. So regular season.
Yeah, we got Brandon.
I'm going Cowboys too. It's going to be a close one, like you said. Yeah, I think Saints are going to be coming off that high of beating the Panthers so bad, but they're going to come down to reality when they play an actual real team.
Yeah, I agree. Cowboys look good on defense too, man. They were impressive.
Yeah.
Colts at Packers. I'll take this one first. I got the Packers. Well, who's their quarterback? Who'd they bring in? Maybe
Malik Willis.
Who is it?
Willis.
Yeah. Malik Willis. Liberty University. Go Flames.
Yeah.
It was a fourth-round pick by the Titans.
I forgot the old boy got hurt. Man, I'm going for a lot of road teams here, but yeah, I'll probably go for the Colts to get their first win. Packers did look good against Philly. It was a close game, 34-29. But then, Jordan Love got hurt in the fourth quarter. He's out for like a month, I think they said. So, the Packers just got to try to weather the storm and go 2-2 and try to stay like around 500-ish before Jordan Love comes back, and maybe they'll have a chance. But I got the Colts, man. I think Colts will pull this off because the quarterback play is so important, and I don't know about this guy. Maybe he'll have a standout game and he'll make a name for himself. I don't know, but I'll still stick with the Colts. What do you got, Monty?
Boy, Packers are good at home. I'm gonna go with the Packers. Still got those two good receivers on that team, so I expect this to be a great game, man. Down to the final minute. So yeah, I'm gonna pick the Packers.
What do you got, Brandon?
I'm going with the Colts. Anthony Richardson looks so good. Man,
he did.
Yeah, he
looks so good. He looked good last year, but he looks so good coming back. Yeah, I think he goes off for a big game and beats the Packers.
Yep, agreed. Browns at Jags. Ooh, this is a tough one for me. Is Deshaun Watson going to play better? The Jags, I don't know what their score was in their game, but they lost. I don't know if they looked good or bad, but they got, they have a fairly talented team. But the Browns defense is really good, and I don't know if they'll play that bad offensively 2 games in a row, man. I'm picking a lot of away teams, but maybe the Browns are just gonna have a bad year. I'm gonna pull off the upset and say the Jags win at home. That's gonna be my crazy game. A lot of people probably have the Browns bouncing back big time, and they probably will. But I'm gonna say somehow the Jags get it done down in Jacksonville, Florida, with ETN and Mr. Hairdo quarterback and all that. They got a good team too, man. So I'm going Jags. What do you got, Monty?
Yeah, the Jags. They played Miami. They played Miami. That was a close game. Yeah. Oh boy. Man, after that.
That's a hard one to pick. I know. They played the Miami really tough. Yeah, real tough. It was 2017. It's a lot more lower scoring than I thought it would be.
Yeah, and I think the Browns still have a top defense. Watson looked bad. He played real bad. So I'm going to go with Jacksonville.
Yeah. What do you got, Brandon?
Man, there's something about the Jags that you like, but there's something about them that I don't like at the same time.
Yeah, they're unpredictable.
Very. I think Deshaun Watson still plays very bad, but I think the Browns can actually come out with a win. I'm gonna go with the Browns to bounce back. I like that defense. I think their defense is gonna have at least 1 touchdown. So
okay,
I'm gonna go with the Browns.
I like that.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. This is Brandon's team, Jets at Titans. Yeah, I actually got the Jets. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to come back. I think he's going to absolutely go off. I don't really think the Titans are that great. I know they won last week, but I don't think they're that good. They're probably like a middle of the pack team, maybe. I don't know, but I think the Jets will come back. I don't like their team overall, like you're saying. I don't like the coach. I know what you're saying about I agree with everything you were saying, Brandon, but I do think the Jets will win this game. They still got Aaron Rodgers. They still got Breece Hall. They got Garrett Wilson. They have a lot of playmakers on offense. I think they will play better. They've got to have a better game plan on the offensive side. Like I said, let Aaron Rodgers throw the ball like 35 times a game. They'll be okay. So I got the Jets. What do you got, Monty?
Yeah. I still have faith in the Jets. I think they'll win this game as well. They'll go to Tennessee and beat the Titans.
Yeah, I really do have I have the Jets. I do. I'm just still frustrated, but
yeah,
I'm still starting.
Me and Monty Pollard for 30 years, man, so we get it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Tony Pollard is going to be my flex in fantasy this week. I think he's going to get a touchdown and quite a few yards. So I'm going with the Jets, but I'm still starting Tony Pollard in fantasy.
Got you. Yeah, TP, we should have kept him, but that's all right.
Yeah, you should have. Yeah, you should have paid him instead.
Yeah, I agree. Split the money, Dak.
Yeah.
But all right, this is this game I really like. Rematch of the playoffs last year. Bucks at Lions. I got Lions. They won in a very good Sunday night game. That was a good way to start off Sunday night football in overtime. That was a great game. You know, I got the Lions win, another nail biter. You know, Bucks did look good last week. You know, their quarterback, you know, Baker Mayfield looked good last week, and they still got, you know, Evans. They got some playmakers over there, but I think the Lions are going to win another nail biter game, man. Who do you got, Monty?
Man, the Bucks are good, just not there yet. They're that close.
Yeah,
that close. Yeah, man, they're so close. So, yeah, I'm gonna go with the Lions at home.
What do you got, Brandon?
This will be my upset this week. I'm going with the Bucks. I think the Bucks upset them. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Bucks.
I know they want some revenge from the playoffs last year in the divisional round. I know that, but yeah, that was a good game last year too.
Yeah, it was.
Raiders at Ravens. I got the Ravens all the way. Raiders are horrible this year too. Me and Monty talked about the Ravens last week. They're just in rebuilding mode. I think Ravens blow them out. Lamar Jackson and company are just going to completely destroy them at home. So I'll be shocked if the Raiders win, but it is any given Sunday. We never know, but I would be highly shocked if the Ravens lose this game. Who do you got, Monty?
Yeah, Ravens are coming off that tough loss against KC. They're going to be pretty ticked off. So yeah, I don't think this will be close. Ravens.
What do you got, Brandon?
Yeah, I'm going with the Ravens as well. I think I think that the Raiders are pretty bad this year. They still don't have a quarterback. They don't have a real running back either, or any receivers. They're hurting. They got a good defense, but they're hurting.
They got a couple tight ends. That's all I know.
Yeah, they got a couple tight ends. Yeah,
they got good tight ends.
Yeah,
back-to-back tight ends in the draft.
Oh man.
Rams at Cardinals. I think the Rams will bounce back. Matthew Stafford will bounce back. They have a good coach in Sean McVay. I know the quarterback is back for the Cardinals, you know, but the Cardinals have never really had anything. I know he made the playoffs like once or twice, but I don't trust Arizona ever in football. So Rams got a good team. Cooper Kupp is back. He looked really good in the Sunday night game, having like 14 catches. Rams don't have much of a running game, but their passing game is definitely there, and their defense is okay. So I got the Rams beating the Cardinals in Arizona. What do you got, Monty?
Yeah, they were a coin flip away from winning that game against Detroit. I mean, all they had to do was win the toss. Oh man, good division matchup. I think the Rams are good. They'll challenge San Francisco for that division. So yeah, I'm going with the Rams.
What do you got, Brandon?
I'm actually going with the Cardinals. Rams have a lot of injuries right now, and I think it's going to play into this game with the Cardinals winning this week.
Dale, I got you hurt last week. You're right. Yeah, I forgot about that. That's a good point.
Yeah.
We'll see, man. This on paper we thought it'd be a good game, but Bengals at the Chiefs. Bengals every year do start out slow, but then Joe Burrow seems to pick it up in the middle of the season. They always end up making the playoffs. But the last 2 or 3 years, they've always started off really bad. I think they're going to lose again. I think the Bengals will start off 0-2. I got the defending Super Bowl champs Chiefs winning this game. I think Joe Burrow will play better, but I don't think they're going to have enough to beat the Chiefs at home at Arrowhead. Who do you got, Monty?
Yeah, that's tough to ask. I mean, they blew their chances last week. A team they had no business losing to whatsoever, and having to go to Patrick Mahomes. KC.
What about you, Brandon?
Yeah, I'm definitely going with Kansas City. For whatever reason, Bengals start so slow. It's usually the first 4 games. So I'm going to play into them starting slow again, and I'm going to say that the Chiefs take this one.
Yep. I'm just trying to check the score of the other game. It looks like it's tied 7-7. But all right. Steelers at Broncos. Like me and Monty said, we never figure out the freaking Steelers. We both picked them to lose last week and they win. Broncos got a rookie quarterback in Bo Nix. They, I just don't know I don't know what to think about this game. I know, only thing I know for sure is the Steelers got a good coach, but so I'll go with the Steelers, but it seems like Monty said, every time we pick the Steelers to do good, they lose, and when we pick them to lose, they do good. So it's always the opposite. So, but Steelers, I'll trust the Steelers over a rookie quarterback though. So I got the Steelers.
Yeah. I don't know about this team. They're tough to pick, but I'm not picking this time. Yeah, I'm going to Steelers as well.
What about you, Brandon?
Yeah, Steelers. That defense is amazing. I'm going with the Steelers.
Yeah, Watt.
JJ Watt is so
good.
JJ
Watt, man. Something else. He's a record, man. Yeah, that dude's something else, man. The Watt brothers, something else, man. Sunday Night Football, Bears at Texans. We have a very intriguing matchup at quarterback. Obviously, Caleb Williams, his rookie year, he got his first win. It wasn't pretty, but he did get his first win last week. They came from behind. They were losing kind of big, and they came back to win the game. That was kind of impressive. But Texans are really good, man. C.J. Stroud is the real deal. He's legit. I don't see the Texans losing at home to the Bears, but you never know. I think the Texans will win this game. But Bears do have a good defense. They'll keep it close for a while, but I see Texans pulling away in the second half. It'll probably be a 2 or 3 score game, but it'll still be a game at halftime, but Texans will pull away as the game goes along in the second half. So Texans, who do you got, Monty?
It's a good matchup between the two quarterbacks to have playing on national TV like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the Texans are a little bit too much. I mean, the Bears are trying to rebuild right now. So yeah, I got the Texans at home.
What do you got, Brandon?
Yeah, Texans seem to be a team they're ready for the to compete. Bears, they won that game last week without their offense. The special teams and defense really showed up and won that game for them, but that offense still has so much potential. I just think they're too young and too new together to really gel and get that win against a team like the Texans right now.
Agreed. Monday Night Football, Falcons at Eagles. I just don't know how to pick the Falcons. I hate the Eagles with a passion. Of all the rivalries at NFC East, that's the one I hate the most. Can't stand the Eagles. In my heart, I want the Eagles to lose and lose big to go down in a ball of flames, but they are a really good team though. But the question is can Kirk Cousins bounce back? I think he can. So this is my upset. I think the Falcons will win in Philly. It's really hard. I think somehow Kirk Cousins will get it done, man. I know it's crazy. I'm probably the only person picking this, but I don't like the Eagles, so I'm going with the Falcons, man.
Well, I'm going for the Falcons, but from what I understand, Kirk Cousins has a terrible national television record.
He does. I think he's going to get this one done. I'm rooting for him, man. Since his Netflix show, I'm rooting for him, man.
Oh, man. I picked with my head this whole night. I'm going to go ahead and pick with my heart here. Come on, Falcons.
That's what I'm picking with, too. This is my heart and not my head talking. You're right. My heart wants the Eagles to lose and lose hard.
I can't pick the Eagles twice in a row, man.
I'm not picking the Eagles. Yeah, sorry, Eagles. There's no way I'm picking the freaking Eagles.
Dude.
I'll pick Washington before I pick them. I don't like them either, but I'll pick Washington before them. Who do you got, Brandon?
Well, I wanted to pick with my heart for my fantasy team and pick the Falcons because I got Drake London and Kyle Pitts, but want to remind me of Kirk Cousins' primetime record, so I can't even go with that, man. I can't even go with my heart. I'm gonna go with the Eagles. I think the Eagles are, I think Saquon's gonna go off again for another.
They're the better team so for sure, man.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about him.
Yeah, the Eagles are the better
team. Saquon,
I keep on forgetting Saquon went there, but I can't change my pick now. I'll stick with the Falcons, but I'm probably way wrong. I just can't stand the Eagles though, so that's why.
I forgot. Like I didn't even. I thought Saquon would be misused like all the other Eagles running backs, and I was just completely wrong from the start.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you look good. You look good. This is kind of like his resurgence. You know, having some up and down years with the Giants being hurt a lot. You know, getting off a good start his rookie year, then getting hurt a couple years in a row, then having a comeback year like a couple years ago, getting over 1,000 yards again. Now he's with the Eagles, man. So, all right, man. That's it for our picks. Now I'll let you guys get to some Thursday night football. But in closing, man, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Let us know who your picks are. Let us know what you think about the Tyreek Hill and Shannon Sharpe situations. What do you think about Dak Prescott's big contract, whether he deserves it or not? But yeah, let us know what you think, man. And have fun watching football this weekend with your friends and family. What do you got in the closing, Monty?
Yeah, I agree. Got Thursday night football, some good matchups this weekend. Let's enjoy it.
You got anything, Brandon?
I'm just ready to watch some football this weekend.
All right, man. Me too. And I obviously got my high school games going on, so I'll be doing those and trying to watch football in between, man. So, all right, man. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Have a good night.
All right.